Yo, what is up, my dudes? My name is Storm Rose, and on this channel I put what's in here out there, and today I'm giving you an update on my reading. So, if you've watched my channel before, you would know that I participated in the Booktube games on behalf of Team Camp Half-Blood, and I believe that we won. I have not been keeping up very well, but I remember on the Twitter it said something like not revealing or something like that, but just want to say congratulations to Camp Half-Blood. Yeah. Okay, so the Twitter said, finally filmed my Booktube games wrap-up, and I just say congrats to Team Camp Half-Blood. So, pretty sure that means that we won, but I don't think she uploaded her wrap-up yet. And if she did, I'm pretty sure it would be on the Twitter. I suppose I could look it up and see. Oh, it is filmed. Well, I'm gonna watch that real fast, and then I'll come back to you.
Same amount of numbers in their group. Camp Half-Blood was 148.7. So this means
Camp Half-Blood's average pages read per day was 148 point something.
Camp Half-Blood was 148.7.
So that is very important because for the Booktube games, because the teams didn't all have the same number of people, whatever amount of people weren't on your team, and Camp Half-Blood was the smallest team, whatever amount of people weren't on your team would get the average reading score per day. So that added a lot to our thing because we had so much fewer, wow. Talking is difficult. But we had a lot less people on our team. So the fact that we had a higher average was very helpful because I'm pretty sure we were even in second place, even being the smallest team, behind Ketterdam, who was the biggest team. We might have ended up in third because Hogwarts started picking up a lot towards the end, but without our average numbers. So when you added our average on, it did a lot for our score.
So this means that Gary was in last place, Ketterdam was in fourth place, Neverland was in third place, Hogwarts was in second place, and the winner of the Booktube games is Camp Half-Blood.
So Camp Half-Blood did win. So I told you all along that we were gonna win, but I did not end up doing as much reading for this as I had anticipated. I really wanted to get like a lot done. I did not get a ton done. I think I read 8 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, about 3,000 pages. And actually, I did end up getting over 3,000 pages by the time I was finished. I don't have my exact numbers, which was kind of stupid of me, but I exited out of the spreadsheet once the games were over. So I don't have my exact number of pages, but I know I got over 3,000 because when I realized with like 3 days left that I was at like 2,800 and something or whatever, I was like, I gotta get over. Or maybe it was less than that actually. It might have been more like 2,500 or something. I was like, I have to get over 3,000. I'm so close. So I did end up doing that. So, oh my god, what is going on here? Hello? Okay. Anyways, I'm super happy about that. Camp Half-Blood won. And that was my first ever readathon that I've done. So I'm pretty happy that I ended up being on the winning team. I'm definitely going to do it again when the next one comes up. I think she said she was going to do it in like the summer? Maybe it was the fall. I don't know. But she said like each one would have like a different theme. You know how like this one had like the areas, the places to be from or whatever, and I don't remember what she said, like, the other ideas were, but it would be fun. And I don't think most readathons aren't, like, competitions, right? So this one being a competition, that was really cool, and I would like to do that again. So now that we're in March, on my writing update video that I made, I said that I was going to probably use March as a big writing month, but I've discovered 3 readathons that seem fun and fitting for me, and so I'm gonna do them. And I don't want to, like, overload myself though, because there's a lot happening, like, school-wise this month. Because we have the biggest project of our high school careers in government happening next week. This video will probably be up by the time that's happened, but We the People is a huge deal, and we just also had our choir contests last night, and we got a 1-2-3 split on the floor, which is supposed to be rare, because that means that one judge thought that we were a superior group, and one judge thought that we were an absolutely average group. So, and that's happened to me twice. It happened in sophomore year at state, I think. Something like that. And then it happened again. And the senior choirs, it's not just a senior choir, but the seniors in the choir, their one goal this year was to get to state and get a 1. And now we didn't even get to state, which is really upsetting, but we know that we performed well. We're proud of ourselves, and I suppose that's all that really matters. I don't know. It's just frustrating. But anyway, so there's a lot of things happening this month. We actually have the Goodwill Games on the 15th. I might try and vlog part of that to put in something. We'll see. Also, I'm sorry that the Booktube Games vlog thing did not happen. It's so hard to find the time to, like, sit down and video, especially when you're trying to, like, accomplish something else while doing this video. So, I don't know. Past is past, it's done, it's over. Anyways, March readathons. So there is the Witchathon for Ostara, and then there's the Irish readathon. If you didn't know, I am Irish. That's why I am so white and also pink. And then there's also the Zodiacathon at the end of the month, which is only like a week long. So I decided to double up on a lot of the challenges because I don't want to overload myself with these books, and I'm using mostly books that I already have. My blankets. Come here, Snake. Okay, so the first Witchathon is from beginning of the month to the 20th, I believe, because the 20th is, or I think the 21st is Ostara, but it might be the 20th, I don't know, I could be wrong. So the Witchathon challenges were different than your normal genre, and for that I chose a romance. And this is one of the books that I own that I need to read because I have several romances because I don't usually read romance. So that's obviously you don't really read romance because you're picking a genre that's different than your normal genre. But I picked Flirting with Disaster by Rhonda Stapleton. And if you watched my my TBR video, you would know that this one's like a chick that's basically like a Cupid or something. So it'd be interesting. And then the next was something with flowers on the cover. I am reading One Dark Throne because I just finished The Three Crowns, which was another book that I owned that I need to read. So I just finished the Three Dark Crowns or whatever. I think that's what it's called. Three Dark Crowns. Yes, Three Dark Crowns. This is my library's book, and when I went to the library, I did not see the third book, so I hope that they have it and someone just has it out. We'll see. But anyway, so this has, I don't know if you can really, there's glare, but it has flowers on the cover. I have several books that have like flowers and stuff on the covers that I could use for, but I'm doing this one so that, you know, whatever. And then one of the other Witchathon things was to read a romance, so again, Flirting with Disaster. And then another Witchathon challenge was to read something in a warm setting. So I'm going to read The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. I'm assuming Mars is a warm setting, you know what I mean? Like, it looks pretty toasty on there. So we're going to do that. And then one of the other challenges for O-Star is to read outside, which it's been really cold around here lately, so hopefully it gets warm enough that I can read outside this month. I would love for spring to come back, especially since we had that groundhog. You said that it was supposed to be a quick spring, and it better be, because I am so done with the doom and gloom of this winter. It's been awful. And then another challenge for the Witchathon was to read an action-packed story. For that, again, I'm going to do One Dark Throne. I'm assuming it's action-packed because, you know, they're trying to kill each other or whatever. So, and then the group book for the Witchathon is to read When the Moon Was Ours, which is already on my Goodreads TBR, so I'm down to read that if I can find it, hopefully. And then, for the Irish Readathon, I believe it's the whole month. I didn't find a lot on the Irish Readathon. I just happened to stumble across it, and I was like, I'm Irish, and I love Irish things, so. It has one where you can read anything with green on the cover. I already have several books that have green on the cover, but I'm tempted to also add in this book, The Reader by Tracy Chee. Ooh, which is such a pretty book. Oh, you want up key? Okay. If you're going somewhere, go somewhere. Move butt. Anyways, I'm tempted to read The Reader by Tracy Chee because it's got green on the cover, and I really want to read this book, but it's also got the second book called The Speaker that I know our library doesn't have. So I'm also a little bit scared to start reading it and then get committed to the story and want to, you know, but we'll see. Also, I don't want to put too many books on myself, so this is in case if I get through all the other ones that's already on my list. And also, since there's so many romances, if I really needed another book, I would read Rodin's Lover, which is another one of the books that I own and need to read or whatever. But it's got very small print, so I chose this one instead to read in case so I can get through it faster. And if I need another one, then I'll do this. But that's that on that. And then another Irish Readathon challenge is to read from an Irish female author, and I grabbed The Hounds of the Morrigan because I was like, I know that's Irish, which is also in my TBR of books I own. And I looked up Pat O'Shea to see, and turns out, yes, indeed, that is the female author. And if you haven't seen my TBR thing, I'm pretty sure this book is like Percy Jackson but Celtic, which I don't know if I've ever heard a book that sounds more interesting in my entire life. I love Celtic lore stuff, and I love Percy Jackson, so if this is that, this is going to be a solid. And then another challenge for the Irish Readathon is to read a book that isn't a novel. So then we have The Rhyme Schemer, which is also in my books that I own TBR. Listen, I'm trying to get through this stack. I'm very bad at doing my TBRs, but I'm going to get it done this year. So this is a poetry book, and I'm actually really excited to read it because it's like comedy poetry, I'm pretty sure, which most of the poetry I read is like sad and, you know, deep, and I love that. I love that kind of poetry, like oh shoot, what's her name, the one that wrote Crank and Glass and Perfect and all those books that are like poems that read like a novel. Awesome. Yeah, I love those. So, but this is a poetry book, so that's different than a novel. Read a book that's older than you. For that, I chose Hounds of the Morrigan. I think you can tell just by looking at it that it's a pretty old book. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but it's definitely before 2001, so there's that. And then one of the other challenges for the Irish Readathon is to read a book by Marion Keyes, Louise O'Neill, or Sarah Rees Brennan. And I don't know if I'll get around to that one because I haven't like looked up what books they have or if any of those are in any of my libraries or anything like that. So that's a possibility. Also, I don't want to overload myself. So these are things that are happening if I get through these other books that I have. So far, we have these 5 books to read. One Dark Throne, Rhyme Schemer, Hounds of the Morrigan, Flirting with Disaster, and The Martian Chronicles. And then I'll probably try and get a hold of the 3rd book also, which is not One Dark, it's like One Dark Reign or something like that, maybe. And then for the Zodiacathon, one of the challenges is to buddy read with someone who's the same sign as you. And I'm a Capricorn sun. So I have a friend, her name is Erin, love her to death. She's also a Capricorn, and I asked her if she'd want to do a buddy read this month, and she said that she would definitely be down to do that. And I really, really, really want to read Zodiac by Romina Russell, and I hope that my libraries have it, and if they don't, I'll try and find something else for us to buddy read, but that's my goal, is to read that. And then a book with an astrology-related word. If we don't have Zodiac by Romina Russell, I could do Neptune's Tears, which is another one of the books on my books that I own TBR, and this is like an alien romance or whatever. But Neptune, that's one of the planets that has to do with astrology, so if we need to do that, we can do that. And it's a small book, so I could get through it fast. But I'm hoping that we can read Zodiac, which would also be a book with astrology-related term in the title. And then the group book for the Zodiacathon is to read Astrology, the 12 Signs by Luna Sedana. And I really, really want to read that book, but I don't know that I'll get through it within a week. Like, this is asking a lot to read in a week. I mean, I guess not, because I did read like 5 books in the first week of February, but that's because I was so hyped, which I suppose I should be hyped for this too. We'll see how that works. But I definitely do want to read that, even if I don't get it done in the amount of time or whatever. And then another challenge. Oh, there were 3 challenges, one for your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. So I am a Capricorn sun, a Aries moon, and a Scorpio rising. So for the Capricorn challenge, you're supposed to read a nonfiction book. And for that, I'm going to read Psychic Powers, which is part of a series, and this is one of the books that I snagged from my library, and that's on my books that I own TBR. Do you see a theme here? But it's a skinny book, and I'm actually super interested in reading it, and it is a nonfiction because it was in the psychology section. Can you read? Focus. CPSY, psychology section. So, this is a nonfiction book. Don't fight me on this. And then for my moon, Aries, you're supposed to read a book featuring a warrior or fighter. So for that, basically any of the book. I mean, I could do The Zodiac by Romina Russell. I could do One Dark Throne. If I read the 3rd one, I could do that. I'm sure that there are warriors in this, the Hounds of the Morrigan's book. So, but if I had to pick a separate book, I would pick the Throne of Glass, I think. That's the one with like the yellow with the girl with the sword on the cover. I really want to read that book, but I don't want to add it to the list because then I'll be overloading myself, like I said. And then for my Scorpio rising, the Scorpio challenge was to read, guess what? A romance. So for that, we either have the Flirting with Disaster, or like I said, if I get through this real quick, I would read Rodin's Lover. But since the romance is from the Witchathon that ends on the 20th, and for the Zodiacathon that starts on the 20th, I'm going to start this on the 19th, and hopefully finish it by like the 21st, or something like that. So, that means that I would have it for both readathons, even though they end on the same day. So, we love pulling strings. So that's all the books that I have technically picked out. These are the ones that I'm requiring myself to read this month. And then, these are the ones I'm requiring myself to read this month. And then if I have extra time, we will, or don't get the Zodiacathon. Zodiacathon would also be on this stack. But if we don't have the time for that or whatever, we have Neptune's Tears, Rodin's Lover, and The Reader, And if I can't get the Zodiac, whatever book I ended up deciding to read with Aaron. So, this is my TBR for March. On top of all the things that I have going on. And also trying to start writing some more because I have not been writing at all. And I feel pretty bad about it, actually, if I'm being honest. So, we'll see how that goes. Also, I need to start deciding my college, and I just keep making it harder for myself. Every time I think that I've decided which one I want to attend, BG or ONU, I start researching the other one again and find something else that I'm like, oh, I like that. So, I thought I was settled on ONU because I went to Accepted Students Day, and I love the faculty. I love the English department lady. I love the feeling of the campus and all of that, and I feel like I would get a very good education there, and I feel like it's pretty fitting for me education-wise. And also I got invited to do the honors college there, which I need to write that essay and turn that in like 8 days or whatever. But then I started looking at BG stuff on YouTube, and their sorority scene seems really cool, and they would have a lot more to do at the campus, and because they're a bigger college city, and I feel like I need to get myself out of this small town mindset. So if I went to BG, I would do that and set myself up for wherever I decide to end up moving afterwards. And I feel like I didn't really give BG's campus much of a chance, because when I went to visit there, it was really, 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 really freezing and gray and gross out, and we went early, and I got really frustrated because like the schedule was like really open for you to choose whatever you wanted, which for some people would be great, but I need structure, and I did not like having to try and figure out what times were for what and where I could go and what I could do. And then I didn't feel like taking a full campus tour because it was literally freezing outside, and I don't know, I feel like I scared myself off of it because I was already so connected to ONU. And I feel like I need to give BG another chance, another visit when it's like nicer out, so I can actually get a feel for it, actually get a campus tour and all of that stuff. But like their visit days are Fridays, and I can't miss school because then it will ruin my perfect attendance. So what I would have to do is like get a visit day just for myself, which I don't love the idea of, because then again I think it's like basically setting it up for yourself, like figuring out what you want to do all for yourself and not having any structure, which I hate. So I don't know. And I still haven't got my financial aid from BG because I was one of the people that got selected for verification for FAFSA, which is even more annoying on top of everything else. Like, I already filled this out, and literally the packet that ONU sent me for like the verification stuff literally only asked like the names of my family members, and for like my 2017 tax information, which I don't have any because I wasn't employed in 2017, and my dad's tax information, except you didn't have to put it on if you used the IRS retrieval tool, which we did. So literally all I did was check. I didn't have a job in 2017. I used the IRS retrieval tool, and I wrote down my family's names and signed it. Like, what was the point of that? I already finished all of this. You already know all of this information, and you know that I don't know. I just want things to be accomplished, and I don't understand why it has to be so difficult to get things done. I just want to get through this. And then I also found a bunch of scholarships to fill out for this month. Well, actually, I just found a bunch of scholarships in general that are upcoming months, and I think there was 2 or 3 for March. And then I need to go through the local scholarships packet at the school for March. I don't know, it's just so much to focus on at once. And we added an extra 30 minutes to every school day until the end of April, which is so annoying because of all the school that we missed. Like, Mother Nature gave us those days off for a reason, okay? So, and we're already attending school more than 100 hours over what we're required to do by the state, because the school feels that the community wants us to be in school more, because they're going to think that we're not getting the education that we need if we're not going to school as much. But that's not, these are the state requirements. Why should we have to go over what the state says we need to do as a school district? I just don't. We're already 100 or more hours over. I don't remember the exact number. Maybe it wasn't exactly 100. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But I'm pretty sure it's at least 100 hours over what we need. And now we're adding another 30 minutes to the end of every school day until the end of April. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot going on that's making me very upset. So, I just need to sit here, chill out, get everything organized and under control. I really just want all of the information to be with me. I want to have all of the information so I can finally make a decision. But some people might laugh at me for this, but for this month, my horoscope said that I've been rushing myself into making a decision, and that I would have all the information by the end of the month that I need to make a good decision, so I need to stop pressuring myself right now. And literally, it was so funny because I was ranting to my friends about how upset I was about, like, psyching myself out about my college decisions, and then I went on my horoscope and read this. Let me read it for you exactly so you know that I'm not playing. You may be in the midst of forcing yourself to make a decision about something prematurely, Capricorn. You are putting this pressure on yourself, but you may be blaming someone else for it. You may be intimidated by someone else who is involved in this situation, and you are trying to perform up to their standards, even if they have expressed no criticism or disapproval. You can be a perfectionist, but sometimes you go overboard. This may be one of those times, so pull back on the reins and give yourself some time to absorb all of it this month. There is so much to be revealed, and throughout the month you will learn more and more. By the end of the month, you should know enough to make a good, informed decision, and you will know the best path to take. If that's not exactly what I've been ranting about, exactly what I needed to hear about what I've been ranting about, sometimes it's creepy how on track these things can be. But I thought, actually that was fitting, because we're talking about the Zodiacathon. And wish me luck on We the People, Unit 4. I'm supposed to know everything about Congress and Parliament. Wish me luck on those tests that I have to take that I couldn't take because we went straight into We the People. And thank you for listening to me rant. With that, I bid you adieu till the next Howdy Do. Peace. See ya.